wanted to show everyone a little trick on doing spiritual baths. Forgive the dirty stove. I just got done cooking dinner and ain't cleaned up the slop yet. Get your herbs, okay, that you want to do for your spiritual bath. Put them in a small pot with some spring water or holy water or whatever you want to use, and boil them for a couple minutes, okay? Then you're going to get yourself a big mason jar, one of the great big ones, and you're going to put some kind of strainer in there. I use like this fishnet mesh fabric. You can buy it at a fabric store. You can use cheesecloth, any kind of meshy, kind of strainy fabric, and I just kind of put it down in there, a little give, and I put the cap back on it to hold it in place, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your herbs, once they're all boiled good, I haven't even started boiling yet. Once they start boiling good, you're going to take that, okay, and you're going to dump it in here. And what happens is this little strainer catches all the herbs, but the essence, sachet, and everything else stays in the water and goes in the jar. And this way, you do not have herbs in your bathtub to clean up, which is the last thing you want to do after a spiritual bath. You don't want to clean up all those herbs out of your tub and stuff. So this is a good way to do a spiritual bath without the cleanup. Easy peasy. I guess I'll also say, depending on the type of bath you're doing. Now, I did this in my previous video about spiritual baths. This particular one I'm doing right now, actually, I'm not even going to tell you what it is, because I don't want anyone the wiser. Your enemies are around every corner, people. Never give out too much information. Depending on the type of bath is the way you're going to want to wash yourself. If it's like a remove negativity bath, an uncrossing bath, anything like that, you're going to wash in a downward, oh, it's starting to boil good. You're going to wash in a downward motion, okay, and get it off. And you're going to say things like, you know, let the water run down and wash away any conditions. Let this water cleanse me, purify me, get rid of any jinxes, hexes, curses, you know, anything, roots laid on me, blah, blah. If it's something like an uncrossing or remove negativity, it's a downward motion, and make sure you get your feet. Then you would typically want to put on, you would want to dry yourself with a white towel. You would want to put on clean white clothes, and you would want to sleep in clean white sheets. Now, if it's a bath to bring something in, like prosperity, or love, or something you're trying to attract to you and draw in, you would bathe yourself in an upward motion, okay, from the feet to the head, instead of the head to the feet, as you would with an uncrossing. You want to bring something in. So you're going to wash from your feet to your head, bringing everything up towards you, saying things like, please bring abundance and prosperity in my life, or please bring love into my life, affection, you know, all those things that you're trying to attract. You would, if it's like for love, you would want to wash yourself with like a red washcloth, or off with a red towel, put on red or pink clothes. If it's for money or luck or something, you would want to use green washcloth, green towel, put on green clothes afterwards. All that, it's a lot of common sense. You don't have to let this boil very long. It really doesn't have to. It's got a good rolling boil. So, and boy, it sure does smell good. There we go. You don't have to let it go too long. Oh, and if it's a bath to bring something in, you typically would not want to dry yourself off. I know it sucks, but you don't want to, you know, wipe off all that stuff that you just put on yourself to bring it in. So drying yourself off with a towel or something would wipe it off. So you want to let yourself like air dry. Okay, it's a pain in the butt, and you got to stand around wet and probably a little cold for a little bit. But yeah, if it's a bath to bring something in, you typically do not want to wipe that off. You want to let yourself air dry. Okay, so we're going to take the pot over here. I'm going to show you guys. This is hard to do on camera while I'm also trying to see what I'm doing. Okay, and see, we're going to pour the herbs and everything into the jar. I'm also doing this left-handed, which is difficult. Wow, those herbs just want to like stay stuck in there. That's actually a different color than I was expecting. When I do this kind of bath, it's usually green. The water's usually green. But I added some stuff that I don't usually add. I know what I'm missing. I know why it's not green. Dun, dun. Let's watch it turn green. There it goes. That's why it wasn't green. Now it's green. That's what I'm used to. Okay. Like I said, I'm not letting y'all know what I'm doing here because I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. You never know who's watching you. But actually, most of the herbs stayed stuck in there. But as you can see, it also caught a bunch of the herbs. So we're just going to take the cap off, which I cannot do with one hand. But we're going to take the cap off, remove the strainer, and then this will get dumped into the bathtub with the bath water. Also, when you're done, especially if you're doing like an uncrossing bath, there's my doggy. If you're doing like an uncrossing bath, you definitely want to keep this jar after you dump it, okay? When you dump that water in your bath, you're going to hang on to that jar and keep it in the bathroom with you. And when you're done with your bath, before you drain it, now this is for uncrossing and remove negativity. Before you drain the tub, your bath, you're going to take this jar that you just poured all this stuff out of into the bath water, and you're going to reserve a cup of your bath water. Okay, you're going to scoop this in the bathtub and save some of your bath water before you drain the tub. And then you're going to take the water from your bath either to a crossroads with an offering and ask the spirit of the crossroad to remove the negativity or jinx or hex or condition that was put on you that is trapped in that water now. Or you can give it to a tree, preferably off of your own property, again with an offering. If it's something to bring something in, love, luck, money, you still want to reserve a jar of bath water, and then you would keep that on your property. You could pour it on your doorstep to bring those things into you. You could pour it on a tree in your yard if you got one by your door, but generally you want to pour it on your doorstep so those things come into your door. So that's a little snippet on how to do a spiritual bath, the hoodoo style. Like, subscribe, and share.